to do this was to enhance the public enjoyment of the Augusta Canal National Heritage Area with artwork inspired by history and the natural setting of the canal. And I think this project certainly does that. And we're happy to be here today and celebrate the completion of it. At this time, I'm going to call on Rebecca Rogers, who's been the Public Relations and Marketing Director for the Canal Authority for about 18 years, but she retired at the end of May, but she's headed up this project, and we thought it was appropriate to have her involved in the official dedication or unveiling of it. So you're going to stay under?
Let me see. I don't think I can do what you just did. I got to back up. I got to work from a few notes, so hope you all can hear me. So thank you, everybody. I'm so glad you could come out. You know, what I want to do today is tell you a little bit about how this particular project came into being. But before I do, I hope you don't mind, I want to share a little personal observation. I realized that as of the month of June, I will have lived in Augusta, Georgia for 40 years. 40 years, wow. And my late husband and I moved to Augusta in June of 1979 so that he could take a job at what was then the unopened, coming out of the ground, Augusta Richmond County Civic Center. You know it now as the James Brown Arena. And believe it or not, one of the things that really attracted us to Augusta was the wonderful warm weather. Hard to believe after the week we've just had, but we were really looking forward after 2 years of wedded bliss in the freezing colds of West Virginia to be getting down to a warmer place. But I have to admit, and this is true, I had some reservations about coming to Augusta, and one of them was, where was the art? 40 years ago, when you looked around this town, you just didn't see it. There was no Artists Row. There were no charming little art galleries. There was no major art museum. There was no Arts in the Heart of Augusta Festival. There was no Westaboo. There were no murals. About the only public art that you could find were some sort of mossy, dusty 19th century monuments to dead white guys. And frankly, that was not really to my taste. But Augusta's visual art scene has come such a long way since then. And many of you that are here today have been part of making that happen. And personally, I just want to thank all of you that have put your hearts and talents and energies into making visual arts so much more important to our community. And I'm sure they will continue to become even more important to our community. This is partly, thank you very much, yes, and thank you, and particularly, as you've heard from Dayton, and many of you know, Augusta now has a public arts plan thanks to the hard work of the Greater Augusta Arts Council and many of the people who advised them. And they've really put a focus on what quality public art can mean to the city that I am now very proud to call my home. So, inspired by that plan, the Augusta Canal Authority, my former employer, got on board with the idea of creating public art on the canal. And so we're very proud to present the 21st century's first piece of Augusta Canal public art. Starting in early 2018, we sought and were awarded a grant from the Porter Fleming Foundation, for which we are very grateful. It provides a great catalyst for many artistic projects and artists around our community. And then with some coaching from some of my friends at the Arts Council, particularly I want to thank Pax Bobrow and also Christy Gilson with the Westaboo Festival. They really helped me figure out how to structure a public art call. We got that out there. We were overwhelmed with the responses. We had 24 artists, local artists reply, which was amazing, and over 30 different proposals. It was a daunting task to pick out the one that we are finally presenting today. So to help me, I assembled a committee of advisors, arts professionals, community representatives, and our goal was to winnow that down to 4 finalists. And we half succeeded at that. We could only get it down to 6 finalists. The proposals were so great that we ended up with 6 finalists. We asked them to come out to this site last fall at the Canal Fest on November the 3rd and present their ideas to the community, and boy did the community love them. We got over 100 comments from people who took the time to write notes, plus they all interacted with the artists, and almost all of them said, "We love them all, please do them all." But of course, we could not do that. We had to finally choose, and in the end, Stone Boat was our choice. This is a wonderful piece of work by Augusta University Professor Brian Rust, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about his creation and how it was inspired and how he put it together. But before I turn the mic over to him, I do want to thank a couple more people. First of all, this might be my last chance to thank my former boss, Dayton Sherrouse, who, when I kind of said, "Hey, you know, public art, when do we get going on this?" he just said, "Fine," and got out of my way and really sort of let me spearhead this passion project of mine. And thanks, boss. Appreciate it very much. Also, thank you to the Canal Authority for being so supportive. Dayton also found some matching money from our partner, the National Park Service, so we were able to add to the Porter Fleming funds, and that was great. The advisory team that helped me out, of course, I mentioned Paxton Christie. We also had Brenda Durant, Kevin Grogan, Kim Overstreet, Stacy Wider, Phil Williams, and Denise Traina. Some of you might be out there in the crowd. I can't see you. And then I do want to mention that Augusta Canal's park rangers and maintenance team has really been great with this project. They had to retrieve all these stones from their hiding place up by the water pump station and lug them down here for Brian to use. And then they installed all this nice landscaping that they've just put in. They've been out here watering and seeding and trying to make this a beautiful presentation for you today. And I know that they'll keep on watering and keeping an eye on this and make it even more beautiful than it already is. We're also grateful to Greg Kraft. Greg is the owner and operator of Everlasting Monuments. Some of you might know that as the tombstone place at the end of Montesano. He's a great guy, and when he knew we needed a granite marker for our granite boat, he donated his talents and services to help create the marker that we're going to unveil in just a minute. So I thank him as well. So I know that you'll agree that we've made an excellent choice in selecting Brian Rust and his composition Stone Boat. Brian, thank you for your talent and hard work, both mental and physical. He was out here working like a team of druids all spring, shoving those rocks around, and we really appreciate it. So Brian, if you'd like to tell us a little bit about your work, the mic is yours.
Well, thank you. Thanks everybody for coming out. I'm really going to try to keep this brief. I do want to thank again the Canal Authority, Rebecca and Dayton. You guys made it really easy for an artist such as myself to get this done. And thanks to Brian Edmond and his crew. Yesterday drug those stones out, and I would just say, like, how many I went out and marked which ones I want, and there they were. You know, next week they were out there, and they were all in a big pile. So then he helped me drag them around and get them placed around so I could figure out where I wanted them to be. Other people I want to thank are somewhere in the crowd, Tim Hebert, my good friend, who was the perfect person to help me drive all that equipment and help use the digger and everything to place the things. So he was really a huge help. I had some students help me on this project too. So thanks to all my students who came down and got some real world experience on how to do public art. I just thank everybody. This was really an amazing project. And as far as the work itself, it's one of those things where I think it speaks for itself. It's made out of natural materials. It's made out of recycled materials that came from the streets of Augusta and from the canal. And I've always liked the shape of a boat. That made such a perfect sense when we start talking about wanting to make something that was larger scale, the reference back to the canal, reference back to the Petersburg boats. And then I like to make things that people can use. And so the idea of making it a sculptural benching area, just all those things kind of fell into place. So it was really kind of a perfect setting of all these things coming together. So and thank all you guys again for coming. And are we ready?
Thanks. So you and Dayton will go unveil the marker.
Now, yeah.
You want to talk about that first? Yeah, go ahead. Dayton's got a couple more things to say, and then we'll unveil.
Okay, before we do that, there's another hopefully by the end of January of next year, the second piece of artwork on the canal will be finished, and we'll repeat this process. It'll be down this trail here behind Lake Olmsted, where the trailhead bathroom facility that we built a couple of years there. And Ashley Gray, would you come on up and tell us a little bit about your project? Ashley, she was among the finalists we had the first time around, and so she was able to get funding from Porter Fleming as well, and she's doing a lot of research and working on that now with the idea that it'll be finished right after the first of the year, and she can tell you a little bit about it and what it will look like.
Hello. I'm really excited to be working on public art in Augusta too. My piece is going to be down that way, and it's going to be, there's a model over there that looks like a cake. It's not a cake. That's just a good size for a model. It's going to be about 5 feet around. It's going to be a sculptural bench that is made of brick and some concrete, which will be hidden, and some ceramic tiles and ceramic sculptures of 3 yellow belly slider turtles. My piece was inspired by the nature and sort of the history too. That's why I used brick, because there's, you know, brick everywhere. And yeah, so that should be done around the end of the year or the beginning of the year. Right.
Thank you, Ashley. And our hope is that we will do one every year. So, you know, it's like everything else. When you start a big plan and everybody expects everything to be done at one time, it doesn't happen. You do it piecemeal. But it's pretty remarkable when 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years passes by and you look back and just shocked almost by the progress you've made incrementally. And so Brian and I are going to go and unveil the plaque here, and then there's some refreshments, water and lemonade over here, so I invite you to go over and have a snack.